Alright, so it's July 17th, 2026, and um, these kids, not even the kids, parenting, like just trying to figure out what's going to be effective. Um, I expect kids to be kids. We throw that term around all of the time. What does it really mean? I feel like it means not to have too high expectations of them, to understand that they're going to forget something. They're going to have their priorities out of order, and I'm gonna have to correct stuff. I'm gonna have to address stuff, whatever. But like doing it over and over and over is really frustrating, because it's like, what am I missing, or what am I not getting across to them? What don't they understand? Or if they do understand, why don't they care enough, not about what I want, but what's their own interest, to just do what's necessary to be able to have and do the things that they want to do. Because I want them to have and do the things that they want to do. I just have a responsibility to make sure that I teach them what I need to teach them, or at least that I do the best that I can. And when I'm doing that and it's just not landing, it's not sinking in, and it's basic stuff. At a point in time, I seriously thought I was a bad parent. Now, I don't believe that anymore, but the reason I don't believe it is because I did. So once I accepted it, once I believed that, because that's the feedback that I got from my ex-wife and my older children. So, all right, I don't want to be. So now I have to start doing the work to be a better parent. And I realized, well, I really wasn't a bad parent in the first place. When I look at the evidence instead of the opinions, there were things that I needed to change. There were mistakes that I made. There are regrets that I have, things that I would do differently. But ultimately, I've always been a good father. At one point in time, I may have been a good father with some deficiencies in communication, anger management, so on and so forth. And I acknowledge that. But I never didn't do what I was supposed to. I just didn't. Well, I never didn't do what I knew I was supposed to do. Let me say that. If I knew that's what I was supposed to do, I did it. It was a lot of stuff I didn't know. So I was always taught about responsibility and discipline and maturity and all of that. So that's what I leaned into. But I wasn't really taught about understanding, compassion, affection, expression of love, like love languages, all of that stuff. Because I mean, I don't know, it wasn't necessary for me. And with what I got from my dad, I mean, it wasn't much in the way of relationship building. It was a lot of instructing, preparing, teaching, educating, molding, whatever. Like, it was preparation, not a lot of, again, relationship building. But I still idolize my dad. My dad had to disappoint me time and time again, in big ways, like not showing up for birthdays, not showing up, period. Like, I remember sitting when we lived in this house on Daleford, after listening to the conversation with him and my mom, Understanding the agreement that he's supposed to pick me up at a certain day, certain time, whatever, and then I'm ready. And I'm looking out the window just waiting, and he don't show up. And then my mom, like, boy, get out the window. I don't know exactly how it went, but I just remember, me sitting in the window looking for somebody that wasn't coming, not wanting to leave the window, because if I left the window, then of course he wasn't going to come, because I wasn't there waiting, or I was going to miss something, or whatever. Just like whatever the kid tell itself to justify the situation without making my dad the villain. And then I just eventually had to accept that, like, my dad was just a shitty dad. So when I was told I was a shitty dad, that hurt. Because I didn't want to be a shitty dad. I didn't want to be a shitty husband. I wanted to be all of the things that my dad wasn't. But how? So fast forward, decades of experience, trials, tribulations, failures, adjustments, lessons, growth, perspective changes, all of this, and it's still a challenge to parent. Now, my life is easy. My life is easy when my kids are here, meaning the structure. It's simple. I'm up before them. When they get up, I like Micah, I gotta tell Sophia to take a shower, but I can, I don't have to do anything but tell her. Micah, I gotta run his bath water, but after he can get in the tub, he can wash himself up. I tell them to put on, they're carrying out the tasks that need to be done for them, for the most part, with the exception of cooking. And like, that's not a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal to cook, especially the way I do, because I just cook when I feel like cooking, which most of the time is in the morning. I don't know what time it is right now, but it's probably 9 a.m. I don't think it's 10, but I've done the things that I need to do for the most part. It's a couple little things. I want to sweep the floor and mop up some little spots that they got from Micah wasting chocolate milk and basic stuff, which is easy. That's not going to stress me out. That's not going to require some Herculean effort. Like, it's easy. Life is easy with them. The challenge is actually trying to get them to do their part and learn what I'm trying to teach them, which ironically, especially ironically with Sophia being my baby girl right now, is if she's 10, these things are not a big deal. They're issues to address. They're things she needs to learn. But if she's still doing these things at 20, it's an issue that is gonna have more impact. So I don't want to take it for granted or overlook. Like, I know it's my responsibility to do whatever I need to do, understanding that I don't know what that is. I don't have the answer, but my job is to figure out the answer, and that's always my job, to figure out the answer, and I'm fine with that. I embrace that. I actually love that because it makes me a better person, and it's gonna allow me to break a lot of generational curses in my family. It's gonna allow me to set a lot of standards for my family, set a lot of precedents in my family, which I see my older brother doing already. There will be different things, but ultimately, as much as I say my dad was a terrible dad, and I'll stand on that, I can't always compartmentalize. He was a terrible dad in the sense that of being there, of relationship building, but from the responsibility of preparing me for adulthood, he did more than anybody. And maybe that's because I happened to be with him at the time where those things became relevant. Maybe if I was with my mom, she would have done a better job. But I left her household at a time before I really got taught those things. So I got taught those things from my dad. Now, I see huge differences in the way I maintain certain things, but I also have to attribute part of that because it started with my dad, but it continued with my grandfather. And it really ironically has been the men. I got lessons from my mom and my grandma, both of my grandmoms, but like the preparation stuff was mostly from the men. So I embrace that it's my responsibility and it's my primary function as a father to prepare my kids for the world without me and to protect them while I'm here. No matter how old they are, they always my kids. So looking at 10-year-old Sophia and hygiene, I have to force this girl to take a shower. And I think we went through similar stuff with the older kids, but it's like, I don't get it. I remember being young, you know, being told to take a bath, taking baths every day, never having a problem with it. I remember when I was getting older, when I was a teenager, my grandma telling me something for the first time nobody ever told me, which was when I wash my face, wash my neck. So the point is, somebody got to tell you, because if you don't know, you don't know. I see people with black necks and ears nasty and some of this stuff, and it's like, I try not to judge, but I just feel like it's sad that nobody taught them that, or that they don't prioritize that, because it's basic stuff. So anyway, I just want my kids to get the basics. I'm trying to give them the basics, and they doing the most. They doing the most. I think Micah get up and come interact with me every morning before Sophia, but that's out of necessity, because a lot of times it's like he want me to make him some pancakes or some eggs or something, and too easy. So make the little dude the pancakes. But then after that, he'll kind of chill with me. But if he hasn't done what he's supposed to do, it's still like we had that conversation every morning. Hey man, like, did you brush your teeth? You know, did you clean up after yourself? Did you leave this mess on the table? Just basic stuff. I'm fine with that. But when I hear them yelling and screaming at each other, being disrespectful, telling each other to shut up, I don't talk to them like that. I don't talk to anybody like that around them. I don't really talk to anybody like that at all at this point. Now, there was a point of time, and I never really did that. Like, I don't know. I never was telling people to shut up and calling people bitches and hoes and calling them up. Like, I never did that. I just was angry. I just, like, my face, I just be like, I just look mean. And I still get that to an extent, but a lot less now that I learned how to fucking smile. Like, I never used to smile. But shit, I had to learn. I had to learn to appreciate stuff. I had to learn. So they got to learn, and I'm trying to be a better teacher than the teachers that I had. And again, trying to be my own best friend is to talk this stuff out and work out what adjustments do I need to make, because I appreciate the explanations that my dad gave me, and they were meaningful to me. But like that same thing that I tried to give my kids, I have got a lot of pushback for it. I do it because I appreciated it. I still appreciate it. At my dad's funerals, like that's what everybody was saying. You know, if you ask Clarence something, he gonna ask you, do you want to know the truth, and he gonna tell you, and I appreciate that. Even if those things I didn't understand, like, so I try to be transparent with them. I try to be open with them. I try to question them so that they can demonstrate their understanding versus talking to them, barking orders or whatever. I ask them, hey man, you know, what you supposed to be doing right now? And then I get an answer. And it's the right answer, so I know they know. But I'm available. And I offer to play games with them. They can watch, you know, I'll watch what they want to watch with them. Pretty much everything other than swimming. And it's not that I won't go swimming with them, it's that I don't want to go swimming over here with them. And I don't have a car. So we about to go to Westgate and we'll swim. But outside of that, I feel like I'm available for my kids. If Micah come say he want to watch something, we gonna watch it. If Sophia say she want to watch something, we gonna watch it. If they say they want to play Jenga, we gonna play Jenga. If they say they want to play Sorry, now what I'm seeing is Micah is down and Sophia isn't. So then Micah don't want to do it without Sophia doing it. I don't know what's going on with them, but I constantly hear Sophia being mean to him. And then he constantly coming telling me that she being mean to him, and I'm constantly telling him stop being a snitch. But I don't want them to be like, it wasn't like that with me and Crystal, but it wasn't just me and Crystal. But I know, you know, they love each other so much because I don't even remember how it came up. But I think my nephew Zion was asking him, because my kids was miserable at my mom's house. And I hate that because, like, I want them to have the benefit that I had of having amazing grandmothers. And my mom can be an amazing grandmother. But they'll never get to experience it if they don't have a relationship. And they'll never have a relationship if she doesn't accept that it's her responsibility to do that, not the kids. It's not. Just like I accept that it's my responsibility, not the kids. They kids. They 6, they 10. We have to invest in them when they kids in the hopes that it pays off when they're adults. But when they're kids, it's our responsibility. And a lot of us have done a terrible job. I'm very liberal with the conversations I have with my kids because my dad was with me. Some of the stuff that my dad told me hurt my feelings, but I could ask them, and I felt comfortable. I want my kids to be comfortable asking me questions, knowing that I'm gonna give them an answer, and they're not gonna get judged. They're not gonna get punished for being curious. I'm gonna give them an answer like my dad gave me. Hopefully, it's better answers because I have different perspectives and better intentions, more commitment, whatever the case is. My dad told me a lot of times how much better I was than him as a father and as a man, and I appreciate that. But when it comes to the opinion as a father, his opinion doesn't matter. My kid's opinion is what matter. So my dad can think I'm a great father by comparison to his father and then him and whatever. But if my kids think I'm a terrible father, that's the opinion that's gonna carry. And I don't think it would stand up to any type of scrutiny for my kids to say that I was a bad father, because if once you start asking questions, it's like, so like what's the problem? You know, especially my younger kids, like, do y'all get hit? No. Do y'all get cursed out? No. Do y'all get screamed at? No. Do y'all get the majority of the stuff that y'all want to have and do? If you're that, yeah. All of that. And they acknowledge it. And I'm actually proud that they are genuinely grateful kids. That's one thing I don't have any issues with. Like my kids have these younger two have always been very grateful. Um, and I'm glad, but I do my best, and I know it's a lot more coming, but I'm not finna put myself in a bind doing stuff I can't afford to do, but I will do what I can. And just to know all I expect in return from them is for them to do their basic personal hygiene, take a bath or a shower, brush their teeth, keep their room together, which is easy to keep together because like the conversation is very simple. Hey Micah, if I tell you to clean up the room, what is that? It's three things. Pick up all the clothes off the floor. If they dirty, put them in a clothes basket. If they clean, put them in a drawer. I don't even make my kids fold their clothes. Now, there will come a time where I'm gonna show them, hey, y'all doing that, and that chaos comes from that when I did, because I was doing it, but I stopped doing it. Like I would fold their clothes and put their clothes up, but they gotta learn how to do it. So that's their way. So I'll let them see, how that works and the consequences of doing it that way, just balling stuff up, throw it in the drawer, which at this point with the clothes that they have is not a lot of consequence because, they small. It take me a few minutes to iron their stuff because I'm not finna let them walk around wrinkled. But as they get older, they gonna have to start doing that stuff. But I will set the standard. I will be the example. All of that. But yeah, like I don't ask much of my kids. Do they personal hygiene? When they get out, actually take care of themselves beyond just taking a shower. Put on lotion, put on chapstick. Make sure, that they wash their hands all the time. Just again, basic stuff. And I'm getting pushback a lot from Sophia. Like Micah, I don't really get pushback. Like he might not do it, but if I say it, then he just get on it and do it and going about his business. If Micah run out the bathroom, I'd be like, hey man, did you wash your hands? And then he just go wash his hands, and that'd be the end of it. But like the same thing with Sophia, it's like if I be like, hey Sophia, did you take a shower today? Then she got an attitude. And now, she gonna go take a shower, it's like this negative energy. So I gotta figure out if it's anything I could do differently doing it. Because I don't think that I'm doing a bad job. It's times where I would feel better if my tone was more relaxed at times, but by no means do I feel like attacking them or yelling at them. I just may have a little bit more expression than I would like, but I don't feel like it's to the point of they feel like I'm talking to them crazy, or they feel scared, or they feel threatened, or anything like that. Versus, hey, he's serious. Like that's it. It's a serious tone, and sometimes I do feel like I can tone that back a little bit. So I'm working on that. That's something for me to be mindful of. Just ask the questions, the same questions, just in a different tone. And maybe that'll work. So that's the biggest thing I can think of now, because I do feel like I'm doing the appropriate thing by, like, they have responsibilities. They know what they are. I get them to confirm them by questions every time we go through this. So I know that they know, and I don't tell them to do anything unless I have to. But if I have to, then I will. But it's just direct. If, for example, if I say, hey Micah, did you clean up your area after you finished eating? That's what I feel like all I should have to do. I asked him a question. He realized, no, I didn't. He go take care of it. We good. So if that happened, I don't have anything else to say. But say I say, Micah, hey, did you clean off your area after you finish eating? And then he say no. And then he just go do something else. It's like, hey man, what you think I asked you that for? Like, clean your area up. And then he clean it up, and that's the end of it. So I mean, I don't think that's bad. But no matter how it's presented to Sophia, it's like an instant attitude or this look of disbelief, like she's just so lost. Like what I'm saying makes no sense whatsoever. For example, her responsibility is to put the dishes up out of the dishwasher, put the clean dishes up. So putting the clean dishes up defined as make sure the dishes are clean, visually look at the dishes, and then make sure they're clean. If they are clean, make sure they're dry. If they're not dry, take the dry towel, dry them off, put them in the cabinet. Pretty straightforward. I don't want to exaggerate, but it's been like a handful of times where she's just literally putting up dirty dishes. And not even questionable. It's like I get a cup and it got chocolate milk all in it. Like you didn't even and then when I'm talking to her, it's just like this look like, man, what's your problem? Like, for real, this ain't that serious, and why are you subjecting me to this? And it's just like, yo, look at the dishes before you put them up. Because you're not even washing the dishes. If they not clean, you don't put them up. You close the thing back up and hit the button so they can get washed. But like, why would you put up a whole dishwasher full of dirty dishes? And I mean dishwasher full. Plates, cups, Tupperware, so, and you see it immediately. So it's just like, I'm not tripping. It has to be addressed. And then the way that I'm addressing it, I don't feel like it's excessive. I'm not screaming, yelling, cursing. I'm not calling her out her name. I'm giving the same type energy that I am right here. If it is elevated, what that would look like is some like, man, come on, man. Like, why you just can't do what I asked you to do? So that's like me being what Aaliyah used to call riled up at this point. Now that's not what it used to be. Riled up used to be screaming and yelling and, you know what I mean? Looking like the damn Terminator, but I ain't doing that now. I'm talking to these kids calm, normal, asking them questions, trying to get them to just do, what they need to do. And it's a challenge, but that's one of my top priorities is to be a good father. So I gotta figure that out. I really gotta figure that out.